Hello viewers, welcome to C4. I'm making this video because I felt compelled to talk about um, the early game, the early economy. Um, Basically, I'm following the Civ Fanatics forums, and you should too if you're playing C4. And what I noticed is that many people struggle or have many questions about how to either increase the difficulty level on which they're playing, or B, how to deal with struggles that come in the early mid game. Either they are conquering or building wonders or expanding, you know, in in the early game, and they seem to hit a wall when it comes to maintaining the pace. So I've been watching like hundreds of videos by Chris. He is known as Absolute Zero on the Civ Fanatics forums. He's a deity player, and he's really good. He can play deity level on live stream, which is, well, very good, to say the least. And the deity level difficulty play is somewhat different, but the general concept around which his games revolve is basically that he cannot afford to have multiple super mega cities for the most of the game. So, and this also overlaps very well with what I'm trying to talk about, and this is the early economy, basically how to maintain the pace after the first 100 turns. And the key to this is obviously something that would be generic enough to be applicable to almost all starts, and it needs not to rely on terrain as much as some other concepts. For example, if you have gold or gems or stone around your capital and so on, or I don't know, floodplains or whatever, these terrain features will uh, make you say, wow, this start is really good, and I'm going to play this start like this and this. But if you start with, you know, if but for generic starts, and this is also true for really good starts, there's only one type of economy that can reliably sustain your, you know, pace throughout the game, and that is the cottage economy. Um, I'm going to showcase a sample game. I play on Emperor. I'm going to showcase a sample game on Pangea with a random leader, I guess. It doesn't really matter which leader you pick. This is one of the advantages of a flexible economy. I got a financial leader. I don't think that's really um, showcasing, but I guess I can do it with Wang Kong as well. So the general idea is that you need only two things to make the early cottage economy work, and that is food sources and preferably a river. You don't even need a river, what you need is green tiles. It will be a little bit slower without a river, but it could work, especially as financial, so you'll see a jump at some point in your economy as financial. With a river, any Civ can do it really easily. So what's the idea? Well, the idea is to not only to settle your settler in a position that is beneficial for the capital, but you also need to think about another city which will be in a close proximity to your capital, which will help your capital grow the early cottages. And in this case, since the river bends to the right, I might actually settle somewhere like here or here and grab the cattle, but there's also a floodplain down here. So um, let's say I settle here, for example, because I'll then grab these two food as well, and this is probably a good third city spot. This might work. Okay, so let me just showcase what I mean. Let's first head into the tech tree. As you can see, techs cost around, this is on normal speed, so techs cost around 10 to 15, 16 turns to research, and you have roughly 50 to 60 turns in the early game that you are not basically doing anything smart. You're scouting around, building your first worker, building your settler, and so on. So this is the, the first 50 turns in the CIV4 games are really about pressing end turn. And it's these 60 turns, 50, 60 turns that are easily, when you look at cottages, which, well, need to be worked to increase the yield, after the first 100 turns, these turns seem to drag on forever, and these cottages seem not to grow. But in the early game, when you're just pressing enter, you'll find yourself suddenly, in a possession of 3 or 4 cottages which are already villages and on their way to becoming towns, and the game basically didn't almost even start yet. So that's what. Why am I building a monument? That's wrong. Um, and why am I researching masonry? I want to go for agriculture. So I want to build another city in close proximity to my capital, which will enable me to work to share the cottages with my capital. And in this case, that city would be here, right here, because it would grab the corn. It would also block off Washington, or I might even place it right here, but I guess this is a better spot. I hate desert hills anyway. So what will happen if I place a city here? I can work these cottages. Let's mark a city with an X. I can place cottages here, here, and here, and share those 6 tiles with my capital. I can also chop this one down, so 4 cottages, and I can place this city really early, and it's easily defensible. So it will, once I have a road, it will take me 1 turn to get units from my capital to this city. So I won't be able to share this one, for example. No. But I'll be able to share 4 and be able to grow because I have corn in this city. So how does this reflect, in how does this work? What's the effect of this? Well, let me show it to you. I have a Tokugawa game at turn 100. Tokugawa is probably one of the worst leaders when it comes to economy. This is turn 100, and this is my financial situation. So as you can see, I did the same. I started here, so I didn't see the corn and the stone, but I moved here to this river tile because I saw that the river was going this way, in this direction, and I saw it was green. So the logical assumption was to move my city, my capital, to a position which will enable me to place a second city along that river to share the cottages. And Tokugawa is not financial. He's aggressive and protective. But as you can see, uh, I have a really strong economy. I have one town, two villages, and, well, actually three villages, and one hamlet which will grow into a village soon. This is the core of my economy. This right here. And I was lucky with this city because I had another source of food. Well, I have another one eventually. But this here is the core of my economy. It's not a gold mine. It's not, flat plains with cottages, which is even better. It's just a generic start. Even if you ignore the fact that I had stone, um, which helped me build the pyramids and so on. But even without the pyramids, I would still have this strong economy right here. These gems were connected like 5 turns ago because I needed to wait for a border pop. As you can see, it was like 47. It was like 10 turns ago, I think, or something like 8 turns ago. I improved these gems. So, and the other tiles aren't really producing much income at all. So, at turn 100 on normal speed, I am. Let me just show it to you. I can trade the English for alpha, and I'm on my way to currency. So this is my tech. This is how my technology looks like. I have a research construction, and am on my way to currency. So, by the way, the pyramids I didn't even switch to rep until like 10 years ago as well. So, my tech base is somewhat based on scientists. I have a great spy which helps with +6. I have two scientists running, so that's 9 beakers from representation. 9 beakers, yeah. So that's 9 beakers from rep. 4 beakers from these gems, so that's 10 from my special bonuses that I got from the wonders. But the remainder of the money of the research comes from these cottages, and as you can see, I can maintain a 70% research rate with 4 cities at turn 100. And if I didn't have wonders, if I didn't build the wonders, if I didn't have stone, I would have one more city here and one more city up here. So that would be even more cottages being worked, which would probably by this time yield another 10 gold, roughly. So it would even out with the pyramids. That's what I'm trying to say. The yield from the rep. It wouldn't uh, grant me the happiness which was sorely needed, as I have no happiness resources available except these gems. So this is the power of early cottage economy. Uh, as I said, Toku is one of the worst economic leaders in the game. Probably the worst. The only thing he has going for him is that he starts with fishing and wheel, which enables him to research pottery right away. But you still need other techs first to, grow your city. So uh, I had to go agriculture, animal husbandry, and then pottery to be able actually to start working these cottages. So these aren't even the earliest you can get them, um, and this is the key. This is what drives my economy, and this is so easy to get. Let me just roll another random game. Okay, this start isn't. But even here, for example, if I settle in place, which I wouldn't do, but if I do, um, again, I can place a city like right here and have 4 cottages, or even 5. Like, this should be a farm, so I can connect this with civil service. But I can place 4 cottages here without a river, which would eventually grow because this city here has pigs. Might as well even plant it like right here and grab the marble. And again, it can share these 4 cottages. It can work the pigs, and yeah, this is even a better spot. So as you can see, this logic applies to almost any start, as long as you plan your capital to be able to accommodate a second close proximity city. Same deal here. So I start, let's see, my next city would probably be like right here, and I can share 3 floodplains, or maybe right here, so I can share 4. Same logic. The thing is with why is this popular in deity games? Because in a deity game, uh, you don't have much room. Actually, you get boxed in quite early. So, for example, if this is your capital, you'll probably be able to. Wow, this is a perfect spot, right here, because it has rice, irrigated rice. But you get boxed in quite early. So, for example, if you place a city like here, which you wouldn't probably because it's jungle, but let's say you place a city like right here, you can bet that the AI will be like right here already or here. So most of the time you can't even rely on working the full fat cross in deity games. Except for your inner cities, most of your outer cities will be forced to work these inner tiles because of the culture pressure. So it makes even more sense on deity to place your cities tightly and to share the tiles that you work. The same is true for food sources, heavy mining tiles like copper or uh, like copper on a hill or iron on a hill, or even gold mines if you whip. So yeah, this is the basics of the very generic, very useful, very reliable type of economy, which will enable you to progress in whatever direction you want after 100 turns. See you in the next video.